Good morning, CSL, Los Gatos. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Did everybody eat their Wheaties this morning? No? Me neither. Oh, I probably really needed them too. It'll be okay. I had something else. So, guess what? I was made for loving you. Did you know that? That's kind of an interesting awareness that we have, isn't it? So, we're immersing ourselves in love this month, obviously. We're seeking a higher, deeper love that we may not have known before. And last week we took a look at a more complete understanding and knowing of what love is, all that it entails, which actually is pretty much everything, huh? I talked about not falling into the trap of thinking that we already know it all, that we know everything there is to know about love. This often leads to a dead end, where there isn't much more to be had or known, which puts us in a position of starting at the ending, and then there's nothing coming after that. So better to be open-minded and open-hearted about the whole thing, because throwing up roadblocks just stymies our ability to discover anything more, anything greater than we think we already know. If there's more love to be had, folks, I certainly want it. Don't you? Yeah. I'm sure there's always more to be expressed, both by the giver and the receiver. Opening up that possibility broadens our horizons, strengthens our connections, and provides us with a deeper, richer experience just all the way around. It sounds like a win-win to me, for sure. Love is the essence of what we're made of. It truly is. Knowing this, aligning with it, brings us closer to the truth of our being. How satisfying that has to be. How magical life can be when we give ourselves over to love. So you may think that I've taken it just a bit too far by saying that, huh? But does it sound like I'm being just a little naive? Maybe, maybe not. You get to choose. I do believe life can be enchanting a good deal of the time when we let it. That's the way it's supposed to be. There is good, there is love in every person, every place, everything. Every situation we encountered on our earthly journey has an element of love in it. It has to, because it's filled with God, always. There's no place God is not. So it's actually our perspective that dictates how we feel about it. Yeah. Love constitutes the foundation of our very being. It's the love of God that has given us this life that we live, all that we see, and those things far beyond. I'm not sure as humans that we can even begin to grasp the depth of that kind of love. I'm sure we think we know what love is, and I'm equally sure there is a love far beyond our human understanding. That being said, I think that we can tap into it, connect with it, absolutely, and bring it to bear in our lives. Otherwise, what good is it? It's like having a car and never driving it. The market teaser for today says, we were born to love all of life. Sometimes it's not as easy as it sounds. Life and love can be messy and imperfect. And still, we get to ask ourselves, how actively are we showing up as love in the world? Yeah, that's a good question, isn't it? It's really, when you think about it, it's about energy. What kind of energy are we putting out on a daily basis? I won't tell you the kind I put out. Not always very nice. If you spend your days grousing and fussing about things, that's the energy you're releasing to the universe. What you're giving is the signal that, yeah, I'll take more of that. Ugh. You're allowed to do it, but do you suppose what do you think you'll be getting back from that? So the energy you get off is actually where the power is. It's where your power is. So you get to decide again, what are you going to put off? Because what do you want to get back? We've all heard absolutely about the universal law of attraction and the fact that the law can only return to you what you give it to work with. So sometimes I just want to say rats to that And oh, great, now I've just welcomed in the rats, huh? Oh, well, rats need love too. I know they actually are running around in the dark in my backyard. Yeah. As long as they stay out of my house, I guess I'm okay with it. Interesting how easy it is for us to slip up, regardless of what we know. Old habits die hard sometimes, or so they say. We're all aware that life and love are not always pleasant, not always neat and tidy. It can be, and sometimes is, very painful and difficult to navigate. How do we hold on to this idea of love as all when life poses challenges to us? My thought is that it's those times when life is difficult that we want to lean not into our own understanding, but rather turn to what we truly believe in, God as all, in all. In times of strife or sorrow, affirming the capital T truth puts us in alignment with it, calls it forth, if you will, and allows us to face the difficult experience from a different perspective. Funny how things look so different from a higher vantage point. As we've heard repeatedly, tough times are really just opportunities in disguise. They provide us with a way and a means by which we can advance, making strides into a deeper way of living and loving. We are in the process of putting all the puzzle pieces of ourselves and our lives together, creating a beautiful, cohesive picture. I find this to be quite serendipitous when viewed from this perspective. We can always seek to have more clarity and understanding shown to us. Remaining present in the moment instead of turning to flee has its rewards. Standing your ground in the face of adversity is a good place to start. By doing so, we may well learn that we are always in the presence of God. Appearances are rarely what they seem to be on the surface, right? There's always a deeper meaning and a greater understanding for us to experience. It's at those times when we put our commitment and perseverance into play. Summoning our courage and facing the pain or difficulty provides us with the opportunity to move through it. And definitely, if it's painful and difficult, don't you want to get through it as soon as you can? Yeah. Having done so, we emerge on the other side, relatively unscathed and infinitely transformed by the gift that this situation, whatever it was, had to offer. It's really just opportunity. It's all in how you look at it. Spirit is always up to the challenge of proving itself in us as us. Being present in a challenging moment calls forth the presence of Spirit in us and in those around us. God is a visible essence we can bear witness to in ourselves, in our lives, and in others. So much of this boils down to self-love, loving ourselves as the divine beings that we are. This doesn't mean denying the human aspects of us. It means fully embracing all parts of ourselves, both the human and the divine, for they really are one and the same. If we can bring that together in our minds, in our hearts, we'll be way ahead of the game. It's all God. Without all the puzzle pieces, we don't have a complete picture. So that's part of the importance of why we need to accept ourselves as we are. So here's what the notes from the author of this topic, who is the religious science practitioner April Connor, this is what she tells us. The love we cultivate within ourselves isn't a separate entity or an isolated experience. It's a direct outpouring of spirit. This understanding fundamentally shifts how we view ourselves and our interactions. When we genuinely connect with the divine presence in our own being, recognizing it as the very essence of who we are, we naturally begin to perceive the same spirit in every person and every circumstance we encounter. This means our capacity to truly love our neighbor, be it a close family friend, a stranger, or even someone we find incredibly difficult to deal with, is directly proportional to our awareness and acceptance of divine love residing within us. Oh, it always starts with us, doesn't it? This profound realization transformed. Oh, I didn't finish the quote. This is the rest of it. This profound realization transforms everyday interactions from mundane occurrences into sacred opportunities. And that's, like I said, magical, right? Each moment becomes a chance to affirm the inherent interconnectedness of all things and to consciously express the universal principle of love, making our lives a living testament to its boundless presence. Boundless presence, ever presence, eternal presence. Yep, I was made for loving you. And it starts with me loving myself, cultivating that awareness as the divine that I am. I don't always find this easy. Do you? Validate me, please. Embracing all aspects of myself is sometimes challenging. How can I see myself as divine when sometimes I sweat like a pig on these really hot days? The answer is, do pigs sweat? Not really, no. In fact, I had to look that up. That saying actually comes from a reference to pig iron, a type of iron that appears to sweat when water vapor condenses on its surface. So it has really nothing to do with pigs, oink oink piggies. But pigs, in order to cool off, they wallow in the mud. And I will admit that there are times when I have a tendency to wallow. Yeah, like a pig. So, yep, we have to love ourselves, warts and all. Yeah. Beyond and in spite of our human tendencies. Maybe because of them, even. At the very least, they keep us humble. Yeah. It occurs to me that these same things, It occurs to me that, that the same things unify all of us. Most people sweat, don't they? You guys, one or two of you sweat out there, right? I'm not alone on that score. So thus, we are connected both by our human nature and our divine nature. So there. We are truly love in action if we only just know that. Accept it about ourselves. We are the means by which spirit expresses love. When we stymie that, we block spirit from doing that. Divine love made visible in human form is what we are. The love of God takes so many forms, doesn't it? We see it everywhere we look. We feel it in the cool breeze. We witness it as a gorgeous sunset. Yeah, and we are definitely warmed by the smile of a baby. Yeah, so sweet, huh? All of these things are an outpouring of genuine love, giving of itself freely. It just is, to all who can accept it. This means to me that I want to cultivate my ability to accept more, the ever greater, the ever higher, the ever deeper understanding and awareness. This is what feeds my soul. This is what brings me great satisfaction and points the way to a deeper, higher love to be experienced in my life. And then I automatically go out and share that with others. Yeah, it's a cycle, like life. Every time we're able to rise above uncomfortable circumstances, we are practicing self-love that elevates our ability to express love to others. It expands us in magical ways, and yes, it does. Love is the ever-present unifier of relationships and healer of wounds. It is an active force for good, which is always available to us, ever present, if we make the choice to recognize and use it. This reminds me that thoughts are things. Hear me out. Maybe I've said this before, so if you've heard it, sorry, it's coming again. I have never forgotten the impact it actually had on me. Many years ago, I worked with this guy who I had actually graduated high school with. He was the teacher and I was the aide in a special ed classroom of seventh and eighth graders. We weren't old friends, but I knew of him and I liked him well enough. However, in our latest iteration, I found him to be a bit odd at times. Every so often, he'd come out with some statement that was really inappropriate and off color, especially in mixed company. So when he annoyed me in my head, I'd call him names. You guys don't do that, right? Oh, I had so many great adjectives for him. One time I got so angry with him that I walked away from my job and I didn't go back for like several days. So anyway, it finally dawned on me that my thinking, my thinking negative thoughts about him truly wasn't helping the situation. Duh, you know? What chance did we have for a working relationship if I kept doing that? The poor guy didn't have a chance of redemption when I kept naming things about him that I didn't like. I've never forgotten that aha moment that alerted me to the folly of my ways, which indeed it is folly, right? Where do judgments ever get you? Back to yourself. So I'm sure I didn't 100% stick to my new awareness, but I did make a concerted effort to stop naming him things I didn't like and start thinking about him differently. Yeah. And I truly believe that helped the circumstances and our relationship. Truly, we don't give ourselves much of a chance to express love or experience it when we're doing that, being judgmental. We have to first become aware of what we're doing if we are to make any kind of change in our behavior. And as Reverend Alice says, practice, practice, practice. Yep. Newsflash, making judgments on ourselves and others is not conducive to harmonious relationships, in case you'd forgotten that. This extends to what we say and think about ourselves. Of course. We are effectively distancing ourselves from the very things we desire when we assign negative judgments to others and to ourselves. It doesn't do much good to affirm harmony and unity in one breath and then turn around and negate it in the next. We all deserve love, we know that. It's what most of us desire in life. Part of our human makeup includes the need or desire to connect with others. We're hardwired to seek out friendship and intimacy. We want to make those connections. Most of us want to feel a sense of acceptance and belonging when it comes to others. Well, and to ourselves too. Obviously, that's always where it starts. Yeah, I know there's always your dog, but somehow that's not quite the same. And speaking of dogs, this concept is actually true for other non-human animals as well. Am I the only one that remembers being in science class at school and hearing about the study done with rhesus monkeys? The one about failure to thrive? I guess I am. Let me refresh your memory. This was a scientific study done in the late 50s and the early 60s by Harry Harlow using rhesus monkeys. It's been highly criticized for its inhumane treatment of the participating monkeys. However, it did lead to greater understanding of the importance of attachment and maternal care in the early years of the monkeys, and of humans, actually. The failure to thrive in rhesus monkeys refers to the detrimental effects of maternal deprivation and social isolation, which lead to severe developmental issues in the monkeys. The monkeys were taken away from their mothers and given instead a wire and a cloth-covered surrogate that would provide food to them. It was found that the monkeys sought comfort and affection from the cloth-covered surrogate, which was not a source of food for them, even though the wire surrogate provided the food. They would get nourishment from the wire model and then return to the cloth-covered surrogate for the majority of the time. So this showed that infant monkeys raised without maternal contact exhibited significant behavior abnormalities, including aggression and impaired social skills. The results led to a greater understanding of the importance of physical contact with the mother in early years of life. It was clear that attachment to the mother provided tactile comfort, which was necessary to the normal development of the animals. It also became clear that the babies needed to have the emotional support and comfort that the mothers provided. You would think that that would be something innately that you would know, but apparently not. This information translated into the realization that not only did the animals need this connection, but so do humans. Apparently, early on, and up to that time, the prevailing psychology was for parents to provide for a child's basic needs without engaging much with them emotionally. Isn't that amazing? I think that's really weird. How could you not just automatically adore your child and want to show that? Anyway, the study went on for several years, and there was very much more involved than, or it was much more involved than what I've talked about. But in the end, the study was really controversial, and it received a lot of criticism for the cruelty that it inflicted on the animals. And it did lead to a better understanding of human needs and the importance of getting the needs met throughout the developmental stages of a child's early years, and how important that was, because you determine how that child progresses into adulthood, and some of those deprivations just couldn't be overcome. So how sad is that? So the rhesus monkey study is proof positive that as humans, we have an innate need to be loved and cared for, the lack of which leads to maladjustment in later life, along with a myriad of other problems. April Connor tells us this. The way we interact with the world is fundamentally shaped by the love we know internally. It's as if our inner wellspring of love dictates the color of the lens through which we perceive and engage with everything around us. When we cultivate a deep love within ourselves, we naturally extend that same spaciousness and compassion outward. This means our responses to daily challenges, our capacity for empathy with others, and even our ability to find beauty in unexpected places all stem from this internal reservoir. If we carry a sense of lack or judgment within, that too will reflect in how we meet the world. Ultimately, by nurturing the love within, we transform not just ourselves, but the very fabric of our shared reality. I especially like that last sentence. Ultimately, by nurturing the love within us, we transform not just ourselves, but the very fabric of our shared reality. This is how we change the world. If I be lifted up, lift up others. This makes peace a possibility. First within, then without. It seems pretty clear that we are all made to love one another. We are to love our neighbors as ourselves. And we can only do that to the extent that we love and cherish ourselves. I'm guessing that there are definitely times when you wouldn't treat others the way you treat yourself. You wouldn't say to others what you say about yourself to yourself. So give that some thought. Our early lives do play a large role in this, but they don't necessarily have to lead us down the wrong path. We have choice, always. We are innately godlings, endowed with all that is needed for us to learn and thrive and grow into the loving beings we're meant to be and live that kind of existence. We have the ability to overcome any seeming adversity we may have been subjected to. Within it is the gift of self-realization and the knowledge of our divine origins. Cultivating these assets will lead us out of darkness and into the light. And I'll leave you with this one last quote from April Connor. Love isn't merely a fleeting emotion or a passive state. It's a dynamic verb. an active force demanding our conscious participation. We express love through our choices, our actions, and how we show up for ourselves and others. It's present in acts of service, in extending forgiveness, and in simply being fully present with one another, present in the moment. When we embody love as a verb, we transform abstract feelings into tangible expressions, impacting our relationships and shaping the world around us. This active, ongoing commitment to love cultivates a deeper connection to life itself, revealing its power to mend, unite, and elevate every aspect of our existence. This teaches us that our capacity for love is far vaster than we ever imagined, encompassing the entire spectrum of human experience. And that's the truth. And so it is. So let's just take a moment and I'll do a closing prayer. Oh, and let us realize that there is one heart, one divine mind, one blessed beingness that gives itself over to all of its creation. We know that all things come of God. We know that within each of us is that seed of recognition, that germ of absolute knowing who and what we are. And this allows us to accept ourselves as being human and divine in all the wonder that that brings. Allowing ourselves to move forward, to go deeper, to rise higher, to recognize at a greater and greater level the truth of our being. Recognizing this, remaining open in our hearts and our minds, releasing judgment, allows us to live more fully, allows us to express the love that we are to ourselves and through ourselves to others. Peace is possible in this world. Peace is possible in this universe. And it starts with each of us. Digging deep, we can do this. The activity of life and love is ever present. And all it takes is our recognition. It just awaits our willingness to be, to open it, to welcome it, to receive the gifts it has to offer. And so I just say thank you. Thank you, God, for new awarenesses, greater perspectives, a higher sense of loving, a greater sense of giving. Thank you for all that is and all that will be. And so it is.